I beat every Terraria boss without taking a single hit. Why? Well, Terraria bosses are a huge part of the game, and the other day I thought, why not try and no-hit all of them? I usually don't struggle with bosses, so I figured it would be a quick challenge, but some bosses ended up taking me over 200 tries. I started off with a journey world and a journey character. The reason for this is that I want to be able to summon the boss as many times as possible, while also accelerating progression. I will always do the fights in Master difficulty, God mode disabled, and enemy spawn rate in 1x. Now, I'm going to prepare really quickly for the Eye of Cthulhu. Because the Eye of Cthulhu is one of the easier bosses, I imagined it was going to be a quick fight without many attempts, but I actually ended up struggling a bit the second phase. My arena for the Eye of Cthulhu was simple, with 2 vertical platforms and a really long platform. The strategy for the first phase was to just shoot at the eye while avoiding hit, nothing really hard. Once the second phase starts, I start to run away from the eye to avoid the dashes. What made me able to beat this was the Featherfall potion. I took advantage to move up and down slowly in order to avoid the ice dashes. Final attempt count 14. Wait a minute, I got hit right at the end and I didn't notice, so I had to fight the eye again. I set up a new arena with the same gear to no hit the eye. Even though I had already done every boss before, it took me 14 attempts again, in total being 28 attempts. Time for King Slime, and it's the easiest boss. There was almost no strategy, just a 20 block tall platform for an arena, and for the fight I will just run from side to side on the top platform while shooting at King Slime. When it teleports, I go down the platform to make the King Slime go down as well. I repeated this until it was dead. Let's go! Final attempt count 2. Eater of Worlds time. First, I made a somewhat long arena in the surface of the corruption. My weapon of choice was the demon bow with Jester's arrows for the piercing. Now, the strategy was to try to make the Eater attack me directly with its face. I wanted to shoot it in the head while making sure the arrows go through the entire body. I took advantage of the minimap to see where the Eater will attack me and shoot the arrows into it. Final attempt count 6. Brain of Cthulhu is next, and just like the Eater of Worlds, I built another arena in the surface. Also the same weapons. The only new thing is that I switched to fossil armor. Now for the strategy, on the first phase I didn't do much. The creepers are easy to avoid and easy to kill with piercing weapons. The real issue is when it goes into second phase. Here, the brain mirrors itself to try to trick me and get near me. The lower its health, the harder it is to spot the real one. This is why I decided to use the Snapthorn Whip, because when I hit the brain I can see the attack damage and spot the real one immediately. But it's not enough. I found myself constantly getting hit by the brain who teleported way too close to me. My solution is kinda weird to explain, but I just have to move in a way to keep the 4 copies of the brain as far away from me. Also, I had the Shield of Cthulhu equipped and I forgot to use it all the time.
Finally!
Final attempt count 12. It's Skeletor's time to die now. First things first, I made an arena. I wanted a long arena, but I got lazy and didn't make it really long, but it was still good enough for the fight. I searched my gear again, now using the Thunder Sapper. What I settled on was a Featherfall potion, Shadow Armor for the extra movement speed, Magiluminescence, and Shield of Cthulhu. My best option for this fight was to stay away from Skeletor and try to dodge the hands as much as possible. Once I finally got the hands down, I took advantage of the Featherfall potion to circle the skull while attacking him. Final attempt count 7. Next is Queen Bee, where the first thing I did was to make a really long arena. With this one I was able to take advantage of my water bolt and had more space to dodge. The main strategy for this fight is to shoot the water ball towards the bee while I'm running away from it. Then, when she stops dashing, I shoot at it with my magic missile while dodging the stingers and bees. This is not that hard of a fight, I just needed to have that attempt where I didn't mess up. Final attempt count 11. I was not expecting this boss to be that annoying to fight. I didn't really make an arena for this one, I just wanted to fight in a long flat area. My strategy for this boss was to use the Knight's Edge up close. The Deerclops has a really simple and repetitive pattern, where I will stay in the air for the first 2 ice attacks and then I will dash away to avoid the 3rd ice attack. In paper, this sounds like a really easy boss fight, but there are shadow hands that somehow know exactly where I'm going to move and just spawn directly next to me, giving me no time to react at all. This was the worst part. It felt more like RNG rather than actual skill. In the end, I managed to do it. I'm not sure if it was luck or skill, but I didn't get hit once. Final attempt count 66. Wall of Flesh is next, the last pre-hard mode boss. My arena for this was a normal Hell Bridge. My weapon of choice was the Phoenix Blaster with meteorite bullets. My main strategy for the wall was to run away and keep it off screen as much as possible. In this way, I could stay really far from it and sometimes the lasers wouldn't even shoot at me. I used the health bar to see if my bullets were actually hitting it, and dodging the lasers wasn't actually that bad. The lasers from the top eye, I could just dodge them by running to the left, and the lasers from the bottom eye, I had to jump to dodge them. It wasn't really that hard of a fight, other than I had to react fast enough to dodge the lasers entering my screen. Final attempt count 22. Queen Slime, the first ever hard mode boss fight. And it's not that hard if you have a fast mount. I fought the Queen Slime in a really long platform and just shot at it. I don't have that much strategy other than to shoot at the Queen Slime and the slimes she spawns. Once she is into second phase, I got into my mount and ran away shooting. Final attempt count 3. It's Duke Fision time, and yes, I now hit the Duke Fision in Master Mode with pre-mech gear. And it wasn't to make the challenge harder or anything, I genuinely couldn't beat the mechs. I was way too frustrated that I couldn't progress with the mechs because I got hit at the beginning of each fight. I had around 51 attempts in total. With this frustration that there was no progress, I decided to fight the Duke instead to get OP gear. Mainly a weapon and the Shrimpy Truffle. My arena for the Duke was one platform across the ocean and one tall and long platform. The height was a bit less than my wing height. For the first phase of the Duke Fision, what I will do is count the Duke's dashes. This is essential to know in what cycle the Duke is. In the first phase, it does 5 dashes and then the bowl attack. Afterwards, it does 5 more dashes and then spawns the Sharknadoes. What I wanted to do for this is count the dashes and make sure the Duke spawns the Sharknado at the edge of the arena, and then try to repeat this process for the whole phase. Now, Once the second phase starts, it's way harder. The Duke now dashes 3 times and does an attack. The first one is the spinning bubble attack. I don't find this one an issue because I'm running away and preparing for the second attack. I like to stay at the highest and at the edge of my arena whilst doing the homing Sharknado. Once I hear the sound cue that it's been shot, I go all the way down to my arena and get the Sharknado at the edge of it. Then I run horizontally on the arena to avoid the sharks and the Duke. This way I could consistently dodge the second phase of the Duke Fision. And now for the third phase. This one isn't that hard thanks to the gelatinous pillion mount, since you can just jump to avoid the dashes. Definitely the hardest part of this phase is the nerve control. Final attempt count 48. The twins. With my new Duke Fision gear, all I had to do was wait for rainfall. Once it started raining, I used the shrimp truffle to get infinite flight and an amazing speed boost. Now the ice can't keep up with me, so I just stayed away from them and shot with my Tsunami and Razorblade Typhoon. Final attempt count 17. Skeletor Prime. This fight was around the same as the twins, the only difference is that Skeletor could keep up with my speed, but I ended up killing it no hit anyways. Final attempt count 11. The Destroyer. Another joke fight. For this boss, I spawned it at the edge of the world and then I just went flying horizontally and really high. The Destroyer eventually started flying in a straight line following me. I just kept shooting my bow until it finally died. Final attempt count 37. So, for Plantera, what I did was a somewhat decently sized arena with a giant hole next to it. Inside my arena, I included water to keep using the OP Fision mount. So in the first phase, I just spawned Plantera and shot at her with my bow. Once she was in second phase, I just flew through the hole with my mount while shooting at her. But I forgot to record when I killed her, so I went back to kill her again no hit for the footage. But Plantera was the first boss I did on the first attempt. Final attempt count 1. Empress of Lifetime. Arguably the boss that most people have done no hit before, because of the Terra Prisma. The only difference is that I used the Witch's Broom because I didn't want to wait for rain, and also that's how I've no hit her in the past before. Final attempt count 18. For the Golem fight, I really don't know how it happened. I just used the Witch's Broom and moved around the Golem while shooting the Tsunami. I don't know how I dodged everything, I just kinda turned my brain off and did it. It would have been first try if this didn't happen in the first attempt. Final attempt count 2. Lonatic Cultist. For this one, I decided to wait for the rain to use the Fision mount again. Once again, I fluked another boss fight. I mean, the Cultist is not that hard and has simple attacks. As long as I don't mess up the ritual, I will be fine. Final attempt count 1. Moonlord, the final boss of Terraria, and it lives up to its name. It was the most time consuming boss and the one that had the highest attempt count. For this fight, once again I relied on the Fision mount alongside the Vortex Beater, Phantasm and Eventide Bow. I started this fight moving to the right, shooting at the top eye with my Phantasm. Once it fires at me, I dodged it and focused my fire on the right eye. Ideally, I want to get all of the eyes to 10,000 health each with the Phantasm. After the left eye shoots at me, I start to aim towards the top eye. I then dodge the lasers from the top eye and right eye. Now I have to keep shooting at the top eye while moving to the right and slowly going off. Once it starts to shoot the death ray, I want to get closer to the eye and circle the ray as close as possible. Because once this is over, I want to stay close to the left eye in order to avoid its lasers. Once I avoided those lasers, I go left, and after the laser dodge, I go down really quickly to avoid going into space later on the fight. Then I focus my attention towards the left eye. I shoot at it until it shoots me the laser. Once it shoots me, I focus on the top eye again and dodge the 2 lasers. Once again, I prepare for the death ray, but now to avoid it on the other side. For this side, I don't need to worry about being close to the eye. This time, instead I can go down after avoiding the death laser and reduce my height. After this, I repeat the cycle until all of the eyes were under 10,000. Once they were under 10,000, I used my eventide bow to try and get them as low as possible, preferably at 3,000. Once I had all of the eye under 3,000, I tried to get them all at the same time. But in the actual attempt I beat Moonlord, I didn't sink the eyes, but it still worked out. Once I had the 3 eyes out, it was just a matter of surviving. I switched to the vortex beater with chlorophyte bullets and shot at it while I got as far away as possible. Occasionally dodged the true eyes of Cthulhu. And this is how I killed the Moonlord no hit and finally finished every boss in Master Mode no hit. Final attempt count 127. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe.